innovative and good point in your blogging career. So let's anchor this actually with a look at some of the previous work that you've done. So I saw, like as I mentioned on the all hands in the mission part of the company, I thought you guys did really good work on this. Hey, where did it go? Okay, I thought I had it here. Give me a
Mission.
second. Should be here, right? Huh.
Don't know.
Okay. I thought it was there. Okay, let me take a look. Maybe it was on the October one. Okay, let's take a look. Huh. That's bizarre. Do you, I swear
We
we had
already,
it, right?
yeah, we mentioned it yesterday on all hands.
Right. So where did it go? It's gone now. Huh. I don't like that. That's kind of weird. All right, let's see if we have it. Uh all right. Okay, since we can't find it, we're just gonna have to find the blog. Bukit Vista blog. What was the blog that I mentioned you for on the all hands?
Um, strategi, promosi.
Let's see. All right, let's see.
We
Strategy.
write it in bahasa because mostly our partners is Indonesian.
Okay. All right, let's take a look at that. Let's see.
Yeah. I think in the second or first book.
Okay, let's take a look. Perhaps. Oh, here it is. This is it, right? Strategy
Yeah.
man.
Content property. The second.
Ah, oh, okay. I see it. Okay, this is good. So what you're creating here is actually a really good practice, and I'll sort of talk about the strategy here for the video. So the strategy here is how do you actually celebrate partners? How do you actually use the stories of partners to actually convince other partners to join and become a partner yourself, right? So this is actually a really good direction, and it comes back down to this idea of the Maslow pyramid for investors, right? That Chip Conley came up with. So in this particular image, as we've seen a number of times, okay. So this is the way I see it. If you are trying to acquire new community members by offering them services, by saying, "Hey, we can take care of your property for you. We can do this. We'll do this for this commission," you're offering transactional alignment. You're saying that you trade this commission in exchange for these services, right? And that's fine, but that's still at the very bottom of a relationship pyramid. That's not kind of and that's not engaging people at higher levels. What you want to do is you want to engage people at higher levels. You want to have that relationship alignment. You want to have legacy alignment. Okay. So the purpose of creating the blog post is really to start thinking more broadly about how we invite people into our community, aligning them to legacy and relationship. Okay. So
Yeah.
the theme of your blog post should be about legacy, should be about relationship alignment. Okay. So each one of your blog posts, think about that. Legacy can be like, all right, I built a villa in order for thousands of guests after I died to enjoy what I think is tropical architecture, right? I want my villa to represent sustainable, design practices. I want my villa to represent a cultural anchor so that people experience Indonesia in the correct way. I want my property to make it, whatever it might be. You saw the small house videos, right? Each one of the owners of those tiny homes, they had a particular philosophy about what they wanted their inhabitants or guests to experience. So that is legacy alignment. Relationship alignment. I am an owner. I am unsure of what to do. I want to read about another owner who is unsure of what to do because that tells me I'm not alone. I can belong to a group of people who we can learn together how to do a certain thing, right? That's relationship alignment. I want to improve my property. I want to be around other people who know how to improve properties, such as designers, architects, whatever, right? And I'm interested in hearing their stories. Okay. That's relationship alignment. So let's now examine this particular piece of writing that you've put out today. on the spirit of an interior design learning hospitality. Okay. So what we're going to do is this. We're going to take a look and look at the formatting first. Okay. We're going to see, does it have the correct structure? Okay. And after we look at the structure, then we'll examine all the components and the parts and see, do the parts actually make sense? Okay. You ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Let's start with this first. This is one of your most important elements. This is your
Yeah.
title. Okay. So, your title, what are you aiming for here? Are you aiming for a relationship or a legacy type story?
Um, I think legacy type because I want other partners have this spirit to learn by their self like that.
That's not legacy, right? That isn't a particular principle. That is hoping somebody might share a common feeling with this person, right? That is what?
Relationship.
Yes. I'm a beginner. I'm a beginner in hospitality. I want to read about stories where other people were beginners as well, right? Legacy is different. Legacy is I believe in this particular idea. I want other people to also believe in this idea. That's legacy, right? So being a beginner isn't something that you want to believe in, right? I want to be always a beginner. No, it's I'm transitioning. My arc is here. I'm starting as a beginner, and I'm transforming into something else, right? So I'm going to tell you the story about that, right? So okay, this is a relationship type story. Great.
Sir,
Yeah.
I said legacy because I talked before relationship is talk about BV relationship with partners.
Yes, it can be by illustrating, but okay, you kind of have to think about. Yes, you're right. It is about Bukit Vista's relationship with a partner. In this case, what are you talking about in this story?
Uh, her transformation.
Their
Her
relationship with whom?
um, relationship
With Bukit Vista, right?
her, with Bukit Vista
Yeah,
and also her guests.
right. So this person has a relationship now with Bukit Vista with her guests, and you're telling the story of how that relationship developed. What's going to interest somebody to join, let's say, our community is not because um, this owner has a philosophy. Wait, I'll let you plug in.
Yes, sir. So I can hear you clearly.
Okay,
Okay.
so you have to be clear about what is a legacy type story, what is a relationship type story. Okay, a relationships type story is one where somebody reads this and they go, "This is me. This is what I'm experiencing right now, and I want to experience this with somebody else as well." So, let's say, for example, right, you're going to school. Some people go to school for transactional reasons. They want to just get a job. Okay, some people go to school in order to get to know a lot of people, to develop their personal networks, and meet all kinds of people. Maybe they meet professors that can give them academic opportunities. They meet students that will teach them leadership. Maybe they meet somebody they fall in love with, right? So those are people looking to like develop relationships. Okay. Then you have people who go to university because they have a principle in mind. You know, I want to further the cause of bioengineering because my family has had multiple people dying from cancer, and I want to create solutions so that people don't need to die from cancer
Mhm.
anymore. Right? That's
Okay. Okay.
thinking about legacy. That's thinking about like, okay, what are you trying to leave behind? Right? What are you trying to give to the world? What is the world going to remember you for? Okay, so that's kind of like where the legacy alignment comes in. Your story right here, it talks about a relationship. It talks about the relationship of a person to Bukit Vista and the journey of how they transform. So that part now becomes your theme. So you have a title, and the title and the theme is clear now. Okay, so you have a title, and this is a relationship type story. Okay. And the theme seems to be how I personally transformed during my experience with BB. Okay, so that is correct. That you have structured your story correctly. So that part is good. Okay, so correct title, correct theme. Okay, let's kind of I read this a little bit, and this is your setup. Okay, so you're kind of trying to hook the reader into it. You're talking about where they were before. However, okay, so this is kind of like how would I structurally call this? I would call this your this is your introduction. Okay,
Hmm. The
so this is your introduction and your hook. Okay. All right. Next is this is your hero starting journey. This is where your hero begins. No experience. No, 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 no. No, okay, right, whatever. Okay. Um, this is your hero testimony. Okay. Testimony. 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 Okay. This is your hero testimony. This is what they say about themselves. All right. This is your narrator opinion. You're the
yeah.
narrator, right? So this is
But
your
I think I want to change. I become we.
sure. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
focus on the details yet. Let's look at the structure first,
Mhm.
and
Okay,
then
sir.
think about the details afterwards. Okay. Then you have okay, learning hospitality. Okay, then you have your arc. Okay, so then you have the hero's journey. Okay, this is where they eventually start making changes and they start accumulating experiences. Okay, this is this is your hero's legacy.
Oh, okay.
This is how they would like to be remembered. Okay,
Yeah.
and this is your
Closing.
conclusion. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. So now we have framework. Let's go ahead and take a look at how we're going to break down this framework. Okay. So I'm sorry I'm doing this on Dropbox paper. I should be doing it in Coda, but I'm just still familiar with Dropbox paper. Okay. Let's say blog framework. So in the blog framework, we see that there's a few sections. Okay. One. Okay. Let's kind of count them out first, right? There's section 1, section 2, um, section 3, section 4, and section 5, right? Okay, I think there was about 5 sections there. What is the
Mm.
okay? What is section name, right? Then create another one and section purpose. Okay, all right.
Mm.
This is where you create templates for blogging. Okay. The idea of this template is that everybody in the future can just follow the same format. They can create a very
Mm.
similar thing. They just change the words, but the format will be the same. That will guarantee that you will always get a story and not a thing that doesn't make any sense, right? So you're kind of reducing a little bit of the creativity, but you're increasing a lot the focus. Okay, so let's kind of go into this. Have you ever seen this before? The evolutionary roadmap for a pitch.
Mm. Not yet, sir.
Okay, so this is essentially how we convert a inquiry into a booking. Okay, so what we've decided is that there's 5 stages in the process of converting an inquiry to a booking. The first stage is we need to identify the guest. The second stage is we need to build trust and encourage open conversation. The third stage is we need to discover and probe and understand what the guest actually requires. The fourth stage is where we pattern match and we look for things that we have that the guest actually wants. And the fifth stage is we need to close the deal. Okay. So that's the framework. Once we have the framework, what we do is we understand what is the emotional journey in each stage of the framework. What are we feeling, or no, what is the guest feeling in each particular stage so that we understand what their emotional context is. Okay. And then we can extend this to different categories now. So we have a guest that, let's say, is a logos type guest. They're a logical guest. How do we create a stage 1 for them? How do we create a stage 2 for them? How do we create a stage 3 for them? And so on and so forth. Okay, so the benefit of the structure is that it allows not just you to write, but it allows other future Vistans to continue writing blogs that make sense. So we're setting down now the foundations for how future blogs will be written. We're setting down the guidelines, the tools, so that you won't struggle. You won't be like, oh, what should I write about? I have so many options, right? Get that writer's block. It should always be kind of like, okay, stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. All right, so that's why we're doing this. And let's kind of go into the sections. Okay, so we already have your first example, and that can be our inspiration. The first section is the title.
Title, the title.
And the second section that we talked about
Introduction and hook.
Okay, great. It was the introduction and
Hook.
hook. Yeah, the hook. Yeah, you need to have a hook. Okay, very good. And then the third stage is okay. I think it was the hero beginning, right?
Oh, okay. A hero starting journey.
Okay, all right. The hero starting point. Okay, let's say the hero starting point.
Starting point.
Okay.
And then hero testimony.
Okay, and then the hero testimony. Okay.
And then narrator's opinion.
Testimony. Okay. All right. If it's a narrator's opinion. Okay.
And then hero's journey. Hero's journey.
Okay. Section 6 is hero's journey. Okay,
And
last.
Next, hero legacy.
Hero's legacy. Okay.
And the last is conclusion.
Okay, conclusion. Okay. All right, great. So now you have essentially a blog framework. Okay. Now let's pretend we are roller coaster designers. Okay. Do you know what a roller coaster is, Ross?
Not yet, sir.
This is a roller coaster. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Oh, roller coaster.
Have you ever been on a roller coaster before?
Yep.
Okay. So a roller coaster, is a ride, right? Somebody has to design how the ride feels, right? So it can be very exciting in the beginning, and then it can go up, down, whatever. So we're going to design that. And we're going to design that by really thinking about the hero's arc.
You want a big cup or a small cup?
Big cup, please. Yeah. Okay. Oh, thank you. Okay. So you can use this as maybe an inspiration. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, Eka. Okay, my daughter just poured me some tea. Let's take this as an inspiration for a story arc, okay? So we're going to put this over here, and you can create a story arc. So you can...
That's very good.
That's good? Okay. You can always think about, all right,
I can't taste them.
the title and the theme is the setting, right? It gives us like where do we begin, and it's also the sort of the reader's contract. Okay, it's the author reader's contract. Okay, I'm going to tell you a story about this, and it's going to be worth your time. Okay. Actually, that's kind of like that's a little bit later. Title and theme that might be in the introduction and hook. Okay. The setting is what is this story going to be about? Why should you care? Okay. That kind of should be built into the title, because remember, if people don't like your title, they won't read your post. So your title has to actually have a strong emotional hook. It has to get people like really into it. Okay. Now, the hero starting point is actually it's pretty standard, right? It's where do we begin our story? Okay, and you kind of want to start from the low transformation point. You're starting at the bottom right here. Okay. Why? Because if you don't start from the bottom, you can't show transformation, right? If you're saying like this person was fine, they're great, they were totally confident, no problems, then what's the point of the story? Did they get better? Did they get worse? Right? So you set it up in a kind of a low point, right? And then you have a hero testimony, and that just offers more persuasive evidence. Okay, and that's a good tool to have inside because that reinforces this is a very personal journey. You want the hero's voice to come through. You don't want it always to be your own voice, okay? Because your own voice is your opinion. You want the hero to kind of like speak in their own words. So that part is really strong. Now, you offer your opinion to give perspective, right? And this perspective should fit the mission and core values of the community. Okay. So you can say, all right, this person has said such and such. This is what I often do. Somebody will say something in a meeting, and then I will say, hey, that person did really well. What they did was an example of this core value, right? What
Mm.
they said was
Yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah.
your moment to actually identify and translate and interpret what's happening into how it relates to a mission or a core value. Because you want the readers to understand what your values are too, what the community's values are. So
Mm.
this is where the purpose of your narrator's opinion. Okay, your hero journey is where this is the sort of the meat of the story, right? This should be dramatic. This should have lots of action. It should be very nutritious. Okay. When you're reading this, it should have like okay, all the lows, downs, highs, ups, all the drama in it, and this should be there's there's three ways you can do it, right? There's crucible, wait, crucible, clock, and what are the other Dan Brown? Okay, wait, here we go, here we go. Um, give me a second here. Give me a second here. Where is it? Crucible. Okay, Crucible. Oh, and the contract. Okay, all right. So the two ways to actually create a interesting story, right? This is Dan. You know Dan Brown, Da Vinci Code. Do
Done wrong.
you know this author, Dan Brown, Da Vinci Code? No.
Not yet, sir.
Oh God. Okay, I'm getting old. This must be a. Okay, this was a very famous movie back in I forgot whatever time, right?
Okay,
Famous author.
I will watch it.
Okay, but he talks about two things, right? He talks about two ways to actually create tension. Advice to describe a hero journey. Okay, and Crucible is this: you put the hero through a difficult situation again and again and again. They overcome the situation each time. Okay, that's a crucible. So it can be like this. Ross is an intern here at Bukit Vista. On her first day, her machine didn't turn on, and she had to take all her notes using pen and paper. After the first week, she, was going to go to work, but then she got hit by a car, and then she had to catch a Gojek, and the Gojek driver was drunk, and she fell off the Gojek car again. And then she comes in the office and she's all bloody everywhere. And her mean boss Jing gives her a stack of work to do. Right. So so that's a crucible. You keep on giving this person more and more challenges. You're finding out what all their challenges are, and you're showing this person's character and their problem-solving skills, or whoever they are as a person, through how they navigate through these problems. Okay, so that's a
Okay.
crucible type story. The clocks type story is you've seen these type of movies all the time, right? There is a bomb somewhere in the city. If it goes off, everyone will die. These two FBI agents will find the bomb before it goes off, right? They have 24 hours to discover where this is, something like that, right? Or the Titanic, this ship is about to hit an iceberg. In the next 24 hours, half the ship will die in the water. Who will survive? So this is a time thing, right? So you put the hero in a race against the clock. Okay. Okay. Hero's legacy. Hero's legacy should align with the BV brand. Okay, somehow be in this format, right? I inspire delight by this, which is my way to innovate in hospitality, and it's positively transformed, you know, as this person as a guest, this person as a BV employee, and other partners or myself, right? So that should kind of be like the encapsulation of what the legacy is. So they state, my innovations in interior design have had a positive influence on my guests, who also have had a positive influence on our the Bukit Vista relationship team or the Bukit Vista community, and right? And it should be all really well interconnected. It can be like this. Let's say this particular interior design, right? You write the story, and in the story you include yourself, Ross, right? You say that, hey, look, this blog helped me with my schoolwork, right? Or I was able to use the relationship that I developed here as a story for one of my theses. And that also gives kind of like the secondary effect, right? The positive employee transformation as well. So whatever details that ally with that theme of positive transforming guests, partners, and employees, put that all in there in the hero's legacy. Okay. And the conclusion should be this, right? Where is the hero now? And in here, you should demonstrate um, positive transformation, right?
Yep.
It can either be personal, and this would be a relationship type thing, or it could be like legacy, right? And this is kind of like a global effect, okay? So now that they have built a sustainable, eco-friendly villa, they have reduced the carbon footprint in Bali by 1%, right? Or they've saved 10,000 trees from being cut down by putting this feature in, something like that. So that then gives kind of like an impact to how they have changed the world in whatever way that you like to frame it. Okay, this then is a basic block, right, of how we can tell a story. And you invented it, Ross, right? We just came together here and we labeled it, right? But you invented the format, which is great, right? Okay,
Mm.
so now this is now where we can go into the detail. Okay, so let's go ahead and attach this to your blog. Okay, so we have some structure now. So we'll call this a structure of blogs right here.
By the way, Kak Lilis also see this paper because this story also will be the partner inspiration in BV newspaper. Is it okay,
Oh,
sir?
fantastic! Yeah, that's a great place to put it. That's
Yeah.
a great place to put it. Okay, fantastic. Very, very good. All right. So let's go into the next part and let's do this. Let's copy this stuff. Actually, I need your help. Ross, I need you to take everything here and put it in, right? To the framework. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to work from the bottom up and you work from the top
Mhm.
down, right? So I'm going to put this over here. Okay, I'm going to put your conclusion here. Okay. And I'm going to put your hero's legacy in. Okay. And then I'll put your hero's journey here. Okay. Narrator's opinion here. Okay, and I got the hero's testimony. Okay, great. All right, now we've organized the blog into the framework. Okay, perfect. Okay, now we have framework and we have example. Now is the time to actually look at the details. Okay, now examine and ask ourselves: is this well written? Okay, so this is Ross's first blog. Okay, so then we'll put the comments here. And let's think. The spirit of an interior designer learning hospitality. Is that exciting? Is there a better way we can put that?
I think we need better title, but the topic is about it.
Okay.
Partner spirit.
Right. My personal transformation as an interior designer to a hospitality novice. Right? One idea. We'll just keep on coming up with ideas.
I want like there's like what what's called um, like column. So like partner transformation, column, and yeah. So general and then specific.
Oh, okay. You're going to need this, Ross. This particular title right here as a detail, as a title, I feel like it isn't dramatic enough, right? It says that somebody's in the process. Okay? What you really want to show in a good title is you want to show the transformation that happened, right? You want it to ring. So how you want it to sound something like this. I never thought I could get into the hospitality industry as an interior designer in Jogja, right? You want it to be like somewhere where they would be really compelled to read. As an interior designer, you want it to be like my magical transformation from interior design to hospitality entrepreneur, right? That then ding, it kind of clicks, right? This how the spirit of interior design got me started in the hospitality industry, right? Something along that. You want to like ting pop a little bit. The spirit of an interior that's it's very academic. It sounds like I'm going to read something that is
Yes, sir.
is factual, right? But you have to realize this isn't academic. This should be a bit entertaining in a way. It should read
Yep.
like the way that let's open a magazine and see if there's any inspiration here. Okay, let's see what they've written so far. What are some cool titles here? Let me go through. Let me see if I can find a good title. Actually, there's no reading at all in these magazines. It's all just what? Is there any title? Okay, this is interesting, right? How to be a more conscious traveler. Okay,
Hmm.
that's a how-to. Okay, so that kind of like okay. Oh wait, I got it.
Airbnb community story tuh.
My
There's
journey
many
from
example.
interior designer to hospitality entrepreneur.
But she is still as interior designer.
But she's also a hospitality entrepreneur now.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Now.
So that is actually really cool. Okay. That gives people like, oh, I want to do that, right? Or my journey from interior designer to mini hotelier.
Mini
Right?
hotelier.
Okay. So that you can kind of like picture that in your head, right? That already has kind of like a story just in the title. So that is a powerful title. That is a title that identifies your key audience. Okay, you're saying that here is the audience, and this is if you've ever wanted to be, or my you can even put my magical journey from interior design to hospitality, right? Something like that. Okay. So that kind of title encompasses the theme very well. The story itself already shows positive transformation, right? The title itself already says that there's positive transformation. And then what makes it inspire delight is the way that you describe it, right? My magical journey, my incredible odyssey, right? So these kind of words create that sense of a voyage of transformation. When you put it like I'm learning the spirit of an interior design, that that talks about the spirit. That talks about where like I'm coming from, right? But it doesn't tell about my transformation process. The transformation process, remember, is the theme,
Like,
right? The theme should be around transformation. Okay, so
okay, sir.
okay, so it should be about personal or GPE transformation. Okay, okay, so that's my advice here on this section. Let's. Oh, how much time do we have? Ah, we're already over time. Wait, let me see if I have another meeting real quick. Uh, okay, I have a few more minutes, yeah, but let me get you set up here. All right, here is your hook. All right, you need to get the hook really sharp here. So this is too long for a hook. Okay, you need to get kind of like to the pain point quicker. Okay, you have to kind of figure out what the pain point can be. Here's a way I would design it. Right, um, a FIFA Dwi was an interior designer for X years.
Okay, okay. So
Although,
introduce
yeah,
herself.
yeah, right. Although she wait, although she knew uh, interior design for over 10 years, right? Oh, this is even better. Afifa
Yeah,
Dwi
yeah,
never worked a
it's better.
day in hospitality.
Yeah, yeah. I just want
Now,
to say about. I mean like this because like to introduce someone is like formal and
no, no,
I
no, no.
think
Go
it's
right into
better.
the action. Go right into the action. Like, like certain movies, right? Wait. Here's one. Did you ever watch the beginning of the James Bond movie Skyfall? I think it was Skyfall. Was it Skyfall?
Mhm. I mean, sir, I want to introduce someone, but I don't introduce them with the way just this is Afifa. He work as a. I don't want to,
No,
but this is
no.
better.
You want to hit you want to hit the reader with what the problem this person is experiencing, right?
Yeah,
Because that's the hook. So think of it this way. Back to this idea of the crucible or the clock. Okay. So how can you focus on that moment where they are like completely lost? How can you focus on that moment where the problem suddenly emerges? Okay. So let me give you an example so that you can see this kind of clearly. I don't know too much about this lady, right? But I'll give you kind of like the framework that you can actually use. Okay. Although she was an interior designer for over 10 years, never worked a day in hospitality. Now she's standing in front of her new villa, and her first guests are about to arrive. FIFA was feeling a moment of intense stage fright as she wondered how her guests would see all the work that her team and her team that she'd been doing for the past month. With keys grasped firmly in her hands, she picked up her phone and texted the Bukit Vista the Bukit Vista air support or the Bukit Vista. Let's just call them customer support. Customer
yeah, yeah,
support specialist.
yeah. I don't mention about how she joined with Bukit Vista. Yeah,
Yeah, asking about the arrival time of the guest. The specialist wrote back quickly and indicated that the
but
app,
I
uh,
must to make sure
FIFA,
this to Habiba because we want to tell the
right,
honest
right.
story.
But this is where you need to zoom in on. You need to zoom in on the dramatic moment, right? You need to be able to feel like, oh my God, I've built this thing, and it's like that's what makes the story interesting. It's the key moments where somebody is feeling a lot of fear, a lot of happiness, a lot of
Okay.
relief, a lot of whatever. Nobody really wants to read the parts where, okay, this guy went to school and they did this. That's all feature, 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 right? People want to read benefits. They want to read benefits. They want to know, what does this story have to do with me? How would I, because if I'm a property owner, I'm going to go through this moment myself, right? Where I'm going to have my first guest come in. I'm going to be really nervous. I'll have, all these things, right? So these are the moments that you need to capture from the person you're interviewing, right? What was your most what was the most kind of fearful moment did you have? Did Bukit Vista help you during that moment, right? All these types of things, and then that is what builds up a really good collaboration relationship story. Okay, you were in a moment of crisis. Bukit Vista came to help. You didn't know what to do. Bukit Vista showed you and guided you and developed that relationship with you. Okay, all right. Uh, indicate that the app that had downloaded a week before provided the most accurate guest arrival details. Afifa opened the BV Go app and
There's
assuredly,
still not yet Vivigo
yeah,
before.
assuredly, you can even, this is even like, this is, I'm just making this up, but assuredly,
Okay, okay, sir.
yeah. And she realized the guest would check in for another 3 hours, right? Something like that. Okay. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to bring somebody immediately into the mental space of a moment of truth for an owner. Okay. And what does that actually feel like? Okay. And what is the difficulty? What is when you talk about challenge here, what does it feel like to be in that challenge? Right?
Okay.
Don't just say this person feels challenges. I don't care. Right? Everybody has challenges. You're going to tell me as a reader, what does it feel like to be in that challenge? What do I have sweat on my palms? Why do I feel like this is challenging? That is what makes your storytelling really real and really resonate with the owner that you want to be reading this. Okay, so great. So she didn't understand, but these are all facts, right? She had an overview of she, didn't have the understanding and ability. What did it feel like for her not to have understanding and ability? So you need to put that into pictures, okay? Like she didn't know, she was confused about what kind of bedding to choose, right? For the bed. She didn't know whether or not she had enough soap variety or shampoo, or she didn't know how to set up the Wi-Fi even correctly, right? So what does it feel like to not know and not have any experience about hospitality? She felt overwhelmed. There were so many things that she needed to do: the accounting, the payment system, the pricing, the revenue strategy, all these things before. And she, she's a designer, right? Her specialty is focusing on beautiful design. That's what she's strong at, not all this other stuff. So you need to capture that emotional frustration as well. Okay, so don't talk about it. Demonstrate it. Put the reader into Afifa's mind space when she's experiencing not knowing hospitality, not knowing property management. Why is that frustrating? Okay, she only this is patronizing, by the way. This isn't the right way to put it. You never say she only understands, right? That kind of like limits like their thing. You need to frame it the other
Oh,
way. She
okay.
is best at, she focused,
Oh,
she's strong at,
okay, okay.
right?
Don't get them right.
Yeah, because you're marginalizing their work. You're saying that their work is only important for this, right? So yes, Afifa felt like she had good control over aesthetics, and why? Because she always got complimented by her friends the minute they came into her apartment, right? And she knew that that was a feeling that she could convey to guests as well. So that's really strong, right? That adds more character and more flesh around the hero's journey, around the hero's introduction. Okay, and this can be why this is great, right? You can talk about Afifa with her own business owner. She's her own entrepreneur. She knew something about starting new businesses, but this was something completely different. And she had so many choices to make, and she was strong at this, but she wasn't strong at that. She felt frustrated because this. Make it as personal as possible. Make it feel like the reader is a FIFA, okay? And that way they
Mm.
understand, okay? All right, great. This is really good. You have this part you don't need to change at all. Um, this is great. So this part you can keep. But you haven't written this correctly. It's not that she's learning things with. Um, mm,
By herself.
Yeah, it would be by herself. But that is not a good story, right? Because that means this person did not need Bukit Vista, right? So you kind of need to somehow, if they're going to learn by themselves, where does Bukit Vista help, right? Um, I think you need to reframe this a little bit. You can say they wanted to express their own ideas. She's very independent. Okay, she wants to have control over the guest experience. Bukit Vista then assists her. Okay, so we don't direct her. We coach her. We give her ideas. We give her guests. Okay, and that's how we assist. But we don't want to say that she's self-taught because that kind of indicates that this person doesn't really need us. Okay, so you want to be careful with that. Yeah, be careful with the self-taught.
Okay, sir. Actually, in the community sharing session, this is also feedback for Bukit Vista that I want more education session, training session from Bukit Vista because not all property partners have background in the hospitality before,
That's
like
great.
that.
I think that's wonderful. I think you know what? That's so fantastic because what we can do is you can even do this, right? You can invite hospitality professionals to come and network with property owners, right? So it's like start a masterclass but with community talk. And that would be a great way to create very powerful, very strong networks. You can say, "Hey, look, we're good at what we do, but we have actually people who are even more inspirational, right? They have started hotels before. Would you be interested in coming to one of our sessions in December, where we invite the general manager of Amajiwo to talk about his philosophy about how to organize hotels, right, and a hospitality business correctly? So I think this is good. Self-taught, open to guidance. Yeah. Okay. Because you don't want to. Yeah. But okay. Good point. Good feedback. All right. This is your thought. Okay. You're gonna need to condition this also to okay, this is not hero testimony. Um, what?
Oh,
This is
narrator.
no wait. This is all wait. This is wrong. Wait. Sorry. This is incorrect. This is the introduction. All right. I think this is the introduction. Yeah, that's the introduction.
The title and also with the
Yeah.
introduction. Okay.
Yes, sort of. Yeah. Okay, that's the introduction. And wait a second here. Okay, so that's the. Oh wait, sorry. No. I'm all over the place now. Sorry, that's not correct. This is the introduction here. Uh, but something's not right. Something's not right, Ross. I'm trying to figure out what it is. I think this is the hero starting point, or
Uh,
this is kind of okay. This is no okay, right? That's her thing. That's not what? Okay, wait. Something's not right. Ah, this is the hero testimony. Okay, I got that wrong. Hero testimony is here. Okay, yeah, that's what's wrong. Okay, yeah. All right, there we go. Okay, hero testimony, keep. That's great. So that shows that this person. All right, this is where your narration's opinion is. Now, if you were to nominate a core value for
Mm.
what she said, what core value would it would?
But I write a core value in the conclusion also.
But this is a good point to point it out. What core value would you recognize her for here?
Feel fast, learn fast. I put it in the conclusion, sir. Maybe you can.
Not yet. Not at this point. At this point, you're going to give your opinion to the hero's testimony. What would you say about the hero's testimony? What does this have to do with us?
Mm, what my purpose to give this opinion? Do you ask about it?
Right, because you're giving your narrator's opinion now, and the purpose of the narrator's opinion is it should fit the mission or the core value of the community, right? So this is an opportunity to point out, actually, and your narrator's opinion, Afifa is one who believes in details matter, right?
Mm.
Which is a core value held here in the Bukit Vista community.
Yep.
Right? And this is your opportunity to explain what details matter, right? In hospitality, we see that guests often will remember the small things as meaningful experiences during their journey at your property, right? Things like things done with love and care are often the most inspirational and delightful moments in the guest stay, right? So now you've taken what she said and you packaged it in a Bukit Vista sort of packaging, right? And now when the reader reads it, they know, all right, this is an example of one of the core values here, and this is why it's important.
Yes, sir.
You got it?
Understand
Okay.
love and care.
And it's this is how you actually spread the core values. Okay, so remember the core values weren't always here inside the employee community either. We had to actively remind people, this is a core value, this is a core value, and after a while they start becoming real because we talk about it. Well, this is your way of expressing it, right? Through this storytelling. This is how you actually get the community to understand it through the story of Afifa. Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Yes, sir.
Cool. So that's where the narrator's opinion actually reinforces a mission or it reinforces a core value. I've used it to reinforce a core value there. Okay, next. Okay. So now you're going to talk about her. Actually, now you're going to talk about one of her things, right? Afifa is also very invested in her own transformation, right? She's ready to learn about all kinds of new
I
subjects.
think you write in the wrong column. Sir.
Oh, I was kind of introducing it here because this is still your narrator's opinion, right? So,
Still of mine.
right, because what this
Okay.
will do is that this will frame the next story that you tell. Okay.
Okay, sir.
You're talking about she's ready to learn all these things and blah 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 blah. Okay, so so you're gonna sort of she's ready to all kind of new subject because she wants to delight her guests, right? Afifa has learned about subjects like I don't know, blah blah and blah, right? Three things, okay, and now you have a narrator's opinion, and that gives you this part, okay? And this part you can just keep. Okay?
Okay.
All right. So that's good. and hero's legacy, and that part you can just keep, right? Because it kind of gives it up. And now you can sum it all. Yeah, now that's it, right? Inspired us to well, and do this part is a little bit strange, right? I would say just fully innovate. Okay, I would. You have the right idea. The idea is correct here, but has inspired us um, to implement one of them and live the mission of inspiring delight through hospitality innovation. Okay?
Yeah, yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
How to make it relate to our mission, right?
yeah,
Something like that.
yeah. There you go. Okay, so you can take that part and put it here. Uh, so that upland spell. Okay, this is really good. Okay, don't skip this story. You have a story here. What were the ups? What were the downs? Right. So I'll put that. What were the ups and downs in the partner experience? And then
Mm.
how did each experience? Uh, how did Afifa respond to each experience with an innovation? Okay.
Yep.
I realized that guests were checking in too early, so I did this, right? I realized that this was happening, so then, I work and ideally include Bukit Vista in those experiences, right? Did Bukit Vista help? Were we just sitting around and watching? I mean, I hope we did some things, right? So that is where your story is. Don't skip that part. That part is really important.
Mm.
Okay. And then after you have described the ups and downs, after you have described how did Afifa respond, then you can conclude it was through the process up and down to make her understand and sharpen her. That's and and transform her, right? And facilitate. I would say made her. It was precisely through the processes. Wait. Let's make this active voice. In the end, FIFA's experiences shaped her understanding, understanding and expertise in hospitality, right? And in the process, transforming this interior designer to a new hospitality entrepreneur working alongside Bukit Vista, right? You might want to not put too much Book of Vista, right? If you use it too often, then it gets kind of like this is just a marketing blog, right? Um, but one or twice is okay. Working alongside um, our company, yeah, that's better.
Okay.
Without working inside our company, inspires them and live the mission. Okay, yeah, like that, right? So that has like kind of a nice flow to it. So that's my feedback, Ross. Okay, so I've given you
Yes,
just
sir.
perspective, right? I've given you kind of like the framework to contain all future blogs in, so you can use this framework for all future blogs, right? If you decide to change the framework, that's okay, right? You can upgrade the tool. This is a tool, and all tools can be changed. Okay, so you might realize
Yep.
I don't need 8 sections. I can do in 3 sections. Well, good. Okay, just use 3 sections then, right? Whatever it might be. Or maybe I need 10 sections, whatever. Okay. But then you should have a clear purpose for what each section does. And then that allows future people to then copy your work. Okay. So I'll just put this as an example of where you can develop your story.
Yep. And also, I will have interview session again to with Afifa to make
Yeah.
sure about the introduction.
Yes. You need to get a few things. One, you need to get the emotional story. right? What was this person? What were your most painful moments, right? What were your most delightful moments? What were your most inspirational moments working with Bukit Vista, all right? Um, did Bukit Vista come to you when you expected? Did Bukit Vista disappoint you sometimes, right? Get all that information out, the emotional journey, because that makes great stories, right? So how did you feel before? How did you feel during? How did you feel? All pathos stuff, okay? So that really enhances the introduction and it plants somebody to have an empathetic relationship with you as an author. Then later, go through the drama, go through what the ups and the downs were, go through what was the response. How did Afifa respond? And by responding, she innovated in hospitality. And how did that positively transform who she was? Okay. And then that then tells this contract story, my magical journey from interior designer to mini hotelier, my magical journey from whatever to such and such. Yeah. Hey, Ross waved at you, Eka.
Oh. Hi.
Hi, hi Eka.
Hi, Ross.
Can't believe it. Wow, look. Oh, wait. Will you guys see each other?
No.
Oh, no. You won't see each other.
Where?
Because Eka's going to go back to Bali in December, but you're going to go to Russia.
Yeah.
So,
Well, she's going to Russia.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Ross is going to Russia. Russia.
In December.
Ooh, it's going to be so cold,
Yeah.
Ross. You're going to be freezing.
Yes, sir. I will try podcast so I can.
Feel warm. I think you're allergic to vodka, right?
I can.
Yeah. Okay.
Sir, thank you for this session. I will have my have class now.
Okay.
And
Good.
I
Okay.
will.
Just okay. Send me another draft when it's finished.
Hmm?
Send it to me again. You did really good. I think you have the correct structure, so that part we use. But send me another draft and get the story more rich. And check back with me next week. Okay.
Yes, thank you,
Okay.
sir.
All
And
right.
please send the recording to
Yes,
my
I'll
slide.
send you the recording too. All right. See you, Ross.